Hi, thank you everybody for waking up Sunday morning at 9. I did not expect anybody to. So this is a presentation, basically just pictures. So it's not much of a presentation, just two slides. So I'm Tarun, I'm co-founder of Ather. Ather is a smart vehicle company. We are making the based out of Bangalore and we're making electric scooters, smart electric scooters. So today I'm going to talk about evolution of product, because that's what we're building here. I'm going to talk about it by using the S340, which is our vehicle, as the background story, to explain whatever teams I have done. Now, I'm going to talk about four broad themes. So, the entire presentation is pretty much around those. First is be your own customer. Empathy can really only take you so far, and this is really as a broad designer. Second is people who are serious about the software should make it harder, which is something about vertical integration and how you approach a product design or building any product. Third is the importance of design in any product and how that should, at least now, trump most engineering requirements. And the fourth is something which is very hot now, which is to pivot every few days and to have this entire startup philosophy. So something against it. So first we'll start from here. We started Ather in 2013. We graduated in 2012 from IIT Madras, and the way it happened is I filed a patent on lithium and battery pack design, and because we filed a patent, it seemed really exciting, and the job was super boring. I just started going out and meeting a lot of customers and trying to figure out how to make sense of this paper. 6 months, so after interacting with a lot of people who own electric scooters, own electric cars, anything related to electric, dealers, parts dealers, people in the companies, I realized first that batteries seem to be like a big pain point. Because everybody was basically complaining about speed, which was linked to battery performance, and everybody was complaining about batteries dying off in 6 months to 1 year, which is obviously batteries, charging time, again batteries. So looking very analytically, me and Tarun, my co-founder, we both figured that if we sort of somehow solve the problem of batteries, that's it, we should have cracked this market. So we got started with it. We spent a few months just figuring out what's the batteries to use, how to build a battery pack, built a very initial first early prototype, and then we went back to these customers. So, little context here. These customers were not me or software or anybody like us. They were what the market defined them to be, which was either their children, teenagers, women, or their elderly. So we were not really sure what their problems are. And they told us batteries seem to be the problem, so we thought, let's solve the problems of batteries. 2-3 months later, we went back to these guys, told them that, hey, we're building this new battery pack, and we'll retrofit your scooter with this battery pack, and we'll, bring up, I know, okay, will you buy this? And they said no. They could not figure out why, but they were not super happy with it. So that's when we started understanding. What is happening here is that, we were not our target. We had no idea what their problems were. They said something, but that was not what their real problems were. They talked about one problem, which was basically a feature-specific problem, but in that product was not very appealing. What the market really needed was a complete redoing of the entire scooter. So that's when we jumped this entire market research and everything that we had all these reports out, and said that let's build something that me and Swapnil would personally like to buy. Interesting scenario because Swapnil doesn't even know how to ride a scooter, and I have been just riding a Bajaj Chetak for like since forever. So we loaded scooters and we bought a bunch of electric scooters, rode them for a couple of months, and this is where we started from. That was the market that the way it was defined. Women, the elderly, middle-aged, children, all of that. Okay. We thought quite a lot, right? Something that we would personally want to buy, that we would be actually money to buy, right? And finally came out something like this. Suddenly, when we were building a product for ourselves, the specs completely changed. So what existed out in the market was something which had 250 watts of power, and the minute we said we want to build it for ourselves, we increased that by 10 times. So now we're looking at more than 2,000 watts of power. And today we're looking at like far more than 2,000. Suddenly the thing that became really important was not the battery, but suddenly the dashboard. Because that really appealed to us. We wanted a touchscreen, we wanted navigation output. We wanted to have all the diagnostics, we wanted to have a central console, we wanted to have great posture, great ergonomics. Suddenly these things which If you look at the market, you will not cite as the biggest problems. You will not say that these are things that you really need to improve on, became the first thing that we want to work on. So we figured, okay, that's what we'll do. We'll give our own customers. Now, the thesis here is that you don't solve a problem. Empathy can only take you so far. I think most product designers are taught, and I'm sure there are a lot of product designers here that can correct me, that as a product designer, you should be able to put yourselves in the shoes of your customer, think from his or her perspective, and don't let your personal biases come in. I think that's bullshit. You need to sort of have your own opinion. You need to have your own problems, and you need to solve your own problems first. If you're not solving your own problems, you're not going to be passionate enough about it. And if you're not passionate enough about them, you're not going to be building a great product. Period. Take any really great product. I don't mean something which solved a problem and went on the Facebook pages 40 interesting innovations in the last year. Something that really became big. Whether it was something, anything out of the Apple stable, or any of those wrong products, or any interesting stuff, has typically come out because those guys really were the customers, the entire product team or the main guy behind it, and they wanted to build something that they would buy first. Okay, and then they figure out how many more Steve Jobs I can find out in the market, or how many land page I'll find out in the market. I think first you should be doing something for yourself, because only then you will truly driven to solve the problem. Otherwise, it's just going to be a job. It's not going to be passionate enough for it. So that's my person. Next is something about vertical. So we figured out that that's what we wanted to build. We got into it. We went into a very long, deep prototyping phase. That's Swatananda. He's building a prototype of the battery actually to do some brain simulation. We spent, I think, 9 months doing nothing but basically prototyping everything and everything. And around this process, we came up with a few more theses of our own. First was that everything that will go inside this product would be designed only and only for this product. We are not going to be using anything off the shelf. Now, little context again. How a typical automobile company works is, all automobile companies, they are great assemblers. They are all basically, people, they are OEMs, they are manufacturers. They will buy, let's say, if they were building an vehicle, they'll first go buy the battery pack from somewhere in China. They'll go to Siemens and pick up a motor that they use in their fans. Then they will go to a company which makes controllers for pumps, and they'll pick up that controller. Then they will go to a Honda and pick up the frame from an Activa. Then they will go to the supplier of Honda and get the body works from those guys. They'll get the lights from somebody else. Blah, blah, blah. They basically collect everything. That's why they have massive operations team, huge sourcing team, and the entire company runs from those. We don't have product design companies in India. None of the automobile companies are product design companies, to be honest. So, but they're very efficient at this bit. They'll get all these bits together, they'll put together a vector with it, and they will start sending it, do all quality checks and ship it. The problem with that approach is, when you have everything off the shelf, your product always will get dumped down to the lowest common denominator of your suppliers. If your supplier is basically building batteries for, RC helicopters, and you're using those same batteries for your bike or your car or scooter, they are not perfect fit. There will be a lot of features that they will have built in which have massive overlaps with other components. You will basically first build a casing around it, which will take the load, and something else will take the connection, and something else will take everything. Lots of fat there. So the best approach there, in our opinion, is to bring in everything in-house, to have the same team know, understand, and work on pretty much every component, and have everything that goes in designed for that specific product, nothing else. You may not come up with the best battery, you may not come up with the most versatile controller or the most versatile motor out there, but at least you will come up with the best product out there. So that's another thing that we do. So that's the reason, we brought everything in-house. Today, except the motor, and we just needed that you don't have the motor in-house today, but today, everything except the motor is basically in-house. Whether it's the battery packs, the battery management systems, or the chargers, or the frame design, the styling, the side stand, the seats, everything that goes inside it, even the wiring harness is done in-house today. So we're not prepared for it. We totally are not. And when we were doing it, it was just literally 2 of us. And even later, when we raised $1 million of funding, it was just 12 of us. We did not have enough people for all the groups we have. But that's a belief we have. You have to get there. You probably have to build a team of 100 people and you have to build a team of 100 people. But the best product deserves it. That's the first app that we do. It's my positive app. That's the first frame. So again, just doing that same philosophy, we refuse to use the frame from an existing scooter. We refuse to retrofit anything. It looks very ugly. It had horrible ride quality. The worst ergonomics in the world. It was off by 20 centimeters wheelbase from a wheelbase perspective. But at least it was something designed in house. And now finally we actually so don't laugh on this. This got 25 pre-orders. People actually like this. So the ride quality was like the overall experience was nice enough. But this was version 1. Let's see how we go. That's super. Okay. Third part. Design over engineering. Shantanu's here. Shantanu. So Shantanu's our vehicles stylist. So after a couple of months, after building a new product, we took a call that okay, now we want, and we were getting pre-orders. People were actually paying us money upfront to build this, and we were probably 3 years away from building anything or shipping anything. So at that point, we took a call that what the customer really cares about. So this would happen quite frequently. We go on to pitches, we talk to people, and we tell them, about this really cool lithium ion battery that we're building, or this really, we're not using analog battery management systems, we're using digital battery management systems. They would understand nothing. They did not care about it, which is pretty obvious in retrospect. So what they didn't care about was the styling. What they didn't care about was if they did see the vehicle, the ergonomics of it. So obviously, pretty logical. Those should be the things that are way up in our priority list. Now again, development list. Typical automobile development does not start from that. Typical automobile development basically starts from your basic sourcing operations team, who will tell you that these are the components that you can use. Then the engineering team, which is basically the assembly point, will basically figure out how to put all those components together. They will come up with an entire naked vehicle, and that entire naked vehicle, the CAD model will be shipped off to the styling team. And the styling team will come up with good enough wrapping around it for it to be manageable to the end customers. In the process, obviously, the old OEMs have come up with very awesome looking products. But as a start, we figured, let's not do this. Let's start the other way around. So after that first prototype, which we jumped, we went to a styling team and we told them that why do you guys come up with vehicle renders first? Why don't you first define how the vehicle should look like, and then we are confident about engineering. We'll figure out how to fit everything inside it. But why don't you guys figure out the exterior of this thing first? So these are some of the concepts that the styling team came up with on day one. They came up with a lot of concepts, I think like 18 of them, and I think even this is top 2. So they kept coming with concepts, and you realize that these are pure sketches. They don't even know where the motor will go, where the shock will go, or how much space you need for battery pack. Yeah, sorry.
So you were saying that you approached the styling team to develop these vendors, and then you were also saying a little earlier that you decided that you wanted to be the customer.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but as I see it, design is not really for oneself. You design for a person. So how did you actually give the brief to the styling team or the design team? Who were they building these sketches for?
So, okay, first thing, you don't just go pick up a styling team and then you ask them to do something because your condition is stupid. You first sit with them for maybe weeks, months. There's enough nature. Then you start either respecting or trusting their instincts. Then you see their work, you see how they approach a problem, and then you start getting a sense that what they come up with is something that gels with. Sorry, to your first question, whatever we selected was something that me, Swapnil, and the styling team personally liked. At that point, we did not care about anybody else also. Do we like it or not? Because even if somebody else comes and says that design number 3 that we hate is a very cool design and we would probably pay money for it, we would not build it. Because we know we don't like it. So if we don't like it, it's not going out of the market from us. Pretty clear about it.
But as I understand it, user-centered design doesn't really work about how you like it. It's about you have the target audience in mind. And you would be designing for that. I mean, the question is, are you making this for yourself?
Absolutely. So that's what I started off from. Technical design teaches you that that's pretty wrong approach to take. That's very amateurish approach today. When you start designing for yourself, you get caught in this whole problem of your own biases coming in and you not remembering what the market really needs, and then you're going on a trajectory which is not sensible. My opinion is, if you're the right sort of person, that's the best strategy. Because only that will lead you to the best product. If you're not designing something that you absolutely love, you absolutely believe in, the end product cannot be as productive. It's a feeling. It never is. So the first step is to make sure that what you're getting out is something you like. The second step, which is a very important step, is hopefully there are enough people out there who actually like what you are coming out with. So if you're a backing guy and you really like, for example, something like this, or you're not good at it, maybe this. We don't know. Maybe we might have found like 50 other people in the country who might have liked this scooter. So that's a big, leap of faith. That what you are coming up with, there will be enough people out there.
That's a larger movie again.
Sure. So the point is, that's our thesis. Our thesis is that we don't really care at that point how big a market we'll find or who is really a target group. For us, the only target group that we can really advertise with is basically us. Because that way, we don't need to, change hats every few hours. Okay, so I like this, but let me step in the mind of a 32-year-old who's a target group, and how is he going to think about it? Or let me step into the mind of a 16-year-old who's just got his first scooter, and let me think how he will think about it. Do I, as a 25-year-old, like it or not? If I don't, then I'm not going to find maybe any other customer, because I don't think I'm really good at stepping into the shoes of a 30-year-old, 60-year-old, or 40-year-old. That's very messy. It's very hard. I don't think I'm trained for that. So it's best to stick to what I'm good at, which is telling anecdote. So at this point, we just went through a lot of concepts, and eventually we came up with this. Because this is not the final draft. This is a draft that came up then. This is back in 2013. Since then, the designs evolved quite a lot, but obviously in the concept of that. But this is what we came up with. All of us did that. We felt that this would resonate with a lot of our target audiences. And this is when we then feel a little bit of weakness. We then go out to target groups again. And this is it, and we actually got the pre-orders. So the pre-orders time, that early loading, videos of it running, and these renders is how we went out it. And people, okay, we'll build something that looks like this, and does the specs that we're talking about. So a quick primer on what we're building. Typical electric scooters do 25 km per hour, very poor acceleration, 5,000 km battery life, and an 8-hour charging time. What we're doing in Ather is something at 75 km per hour, can out-accelerate a 100cc petrol scooter, has a battery life of close to 15,000 kilometers, and charges up in less than 1 hour. So simple 4 specs, and this is how it is going to look like. And we priced it at some number which was higher than active or lower than Vespa. Just don't feel like you're going to sell this at this price point. Would you, you are telling us that you hate your vehicles, but you really like the concept of electric vehicles, would you buy this or not? They loved the idea, they gave us pre-orders upfront, we ended up getting 6 lakhs, and that was really for us the genesis of the entire startup. Because now we find that we are not doing something like that, And that's still your fear as a product designer. What you're building is in the back end, only you and your co-founder likes it, nobody else likes it. At this point, we actually had a few more people. Maybe they did not like the design too much, maybe they were not very happy with the specs, but the overall concept, they completely wanted it. The combination of all of those. So those are very important. Now we actually have people who will pay money for this. So that really kickstarted. So yeah, these are products after that. We kept prototyping, kept improving. This is just elements, so that's the first battery car, that's an auspicious. That's our first distributed office where we were not basically just camping for free. This is a diameter search bar. This is product 3, this is sort of the funding. This is the first version of the digital dashboard. This is a clean model. This is a new office. This is the latest prototype. Video of the others. So this is from the vehicle. Yeah, so this brings me on the lab. So over the last pretty much 2.5 years now, we have been building this. We have been thinking about this. Since March 2020, we have been actually prototyping these vehicles, these components. So it's been quite some time. It's been more than 2 years now, and we're probably still 10 months away from actual shipping. So we're at 3+ year horizon before we actually start selling anything. That's taken quite a bit of patience. That's taken quite some perseverance for our part. Not to get pissed off that we haven't started selling anything yet, or we have a business yet. We basically still designers. So now, I don't know, are you guys, do you guys understand lean product development, the entire concept of lean startups? So, okay, so different understandings of it. My understanding of lean startups is that you don't waste too much time into developing. You boil down, you distill your idea to the most base thing, the most important thing, the minimum viable concept, the minimum viable product. You test it out with your target audiences, or you test it out in the market, and after that you start building. So you don't take, like, let's say, 5 years to build the product and then figure out how to sell this, right? People like it or not. I think that makes a lot of sense. However, what's started happening in the last 2-3 years is, and that's what we experienced when we pitched, when we met other people. People have taken that to basically mean that as a startup or as basically a company, we don't know anything. So we don't know what we're building. So what we want to do is, our customers told us maybe they don't like knobs, they maybe like digital touchscreens. So let's take this, put a digital touchscreen on top of it. Let's show it to 50 customers. If customers like it, we'll use it. Otherwise, we'll go back to knobs or come up with a button or something. And extending that to especially physical products, most people are not spending, let's say, enough time in actual development. Nothing is testing an iPhone. What do you think is the defining feature? Was the defining feature of the iPhone? Anybody?
Drop time.
Okay, the dials. Anybody else? Anything? What do you think was the user interface? What do you think was the defining feature of the first smartphone? Touch. Right? Now, just think about it. If the design team at that point said, hey, we don't know if the dials work or not, so let's do this. Let's take a walkie-talkie. Let's put a dial on top of it to change songs. And let's figure out if that will explode the market by 100 times or not. Obviously, the product would have, like, best case scenario, like, sold as much as possible, nothing more. So my, again, thesis is, you have to give product development enough time, because product is not just a feature. It's a bunch of things. It's the overall experience, and the overall experience takes time to get together and for a customer to give opinions on. Yes, you have to take a lot of leaps of faith, and you will validate certain things. For example, in our case, what we did not validate was, do you like tops faster vehicle or not? Would you be having for a faster vehicle or not? What do you think about dashboards? Something very simple. But the overall product, you can't really put out something in a short span of time and hope to get good feedback, because that feedback is going to be really productive. And if you trust that feedback, it's going to take you on a very different tangent altogether. So, with product development specifically, one needs to give it time. So, for example, we have 4 years now. We'll spend 4 years next year. But I think that's the sort of time we need to give for a sensible product out. So, just my 2 cents there. Lean development works, but in a very limited scope and not for everything. You can't go to the market to validate everything. You can't literally go and ask people to vote for every feature, every spec, price, target markets, cities that you will launch in, whether they want to buy it or rent. It does not work. That just means you have no way. So I'm pretty much done with the presentation. I should be complete. So yeah. Thanks.
I think one takeaway from what you have been talking about the lean product development operating if you looked at yourself and designing first,
yes.
Is instead of going to the market and asking what people want. I think one important aspect that is the learning is that the market will anyway say what they already know.
Absolutely.
And you will eventually get what is already there.
I write scooters quite a lot, and I'm super bad with geography. I do not remember ways anywhere. Even today, I took like 20 minutes to find this place just looking at you. So I always end up using navigation. I'm a big fan of Google, so I always end up using navigation. And what happens is, let's say I'm coming from Indranagar, I go to Madiwala, or let's say Singapore. I'll probably stop like in every junction out there, on my scooter, and take out my mobile. I'll wait for GPS to turn on, maps to turn on, and then it to activate, and then I'll say I'll the left class. That will be immediate, small thing. So to me, like we need auto navigation. Now how, so but just for example today somebody was asking why do you have a touch screen, maybe we should have buttons. Maybe we should. But that was a way I basically wanted this on the dashboard. Pretty simple, nothing else. So to us that became like the central thesis. Now that one we did try this. We did talk to a couple of people and we asked them, what if we had, like a tablet on the dashboard. The idea was not very clear. So we just said, we'll probably have a tablet and we'll probably have navigation. The response was very, very social. The response was like, maybe, but yeah, I can use it on my phone. It's okay. I don't need it like on the tablet. Okay, fine. But we just believe that we have things, let's stick to it. Let's build this and then we'll see. Then we had a prototype which we showed the picture, a very rough version of the dashboard. And after the vehicle we started deploying it. And suddenly the perceptions completely changed. When people actually see a tablet integrated, when they actually see, so for example, we have profiles on the dashboard. We have modes, you can control the vehicle response, you can control the short-term response. The vehicle, remembers all stuff that you do, how you brake, how you accelerate, how you speed, where you go, how you go, and it improves based on it. It obviously has navigation. When all of it suddenly came together, like a pitch complete. People, if you were pitching that this is in Chennai, middle of last year, June, July, they did not really give a shit about the electric vehicle bidder. They said, like, can I get that on my scooter? I'll pay like 15,000, 20,000 rupees extra if you can retrofit my scooter. Obviously, waterproofing, weatherproofing, all of that. If you can have a good tablet integrated on my dashboard on my scooter. Now, so yes, it completely is. You can't really trust the market to tell you what to do. If you could trust the market, you will not have startups, like larger companies will just send, they have enough market research team. They will go out, they will get all the gold out there and like done. There will be no scope left for anybody else to do it. The reason you can innovate, you can still start product startups because hopefully the thesis that you have is differentiated enough and nobody else believes in it. So that's the best part. So nobody else believes in it, so nobody else will know about it.
You have a target price in mind. How confident are you achieving that since you're designing everything in-house?
So designing everything in-house actually allows us to cut down costs quite significantly. If you were to, so like to throw an action number out, if you were to build this using completely off-the-shelf stuff, I think we'll be looking at a bill of materials of 1.3, 1.4 lakhs. If we hit economics of scale, let's say 40,000, 50,000, maybe we might bring it down to 1.2, 1.25 lakhs. That's it. And that's just the BOM. That's not even like any margins or factory or SNGX, any of those expenses. But bringing everything in-house allows us to cut down costs on a lot of stuff. So, for example, I can give you one number. The BMS that we build, traditional industry yarn there is that everybody uses an analog BMS, especially in applications smaller like this, not a car. Everybody uses an analog BMS. Purely because a digital BMS is supposed to cost like, an analog BMS to cost maybe $30. Digital BMS will cost you anywhere between $200 and $300. A good enough BMS. So nobody uses a digital BMS. That's what we also believe the issue. Then you got the digital BMS in first. We started working on it. And today the digital BMS actually cost us less than the analog version that we ourselves built. And the digital version is actually cheaper than the analog version that you can buy out from the market. So you reduce costs there like by at least $170, $180. Most features have that. So we are expecting the cost to be somewhere between that of a typical Activa and a Vespa. But an exact number is hard for us to pin. Because a lot of events still happening and we haven't really planned on production yet. So maybe 2-3 months we should have the final price. But it won't be like
your target price is coming after the design process.
Yeah, pretty much. So we did not set that as a. I don't think it's a good thing or bad thing, but at least it gives us a lot of freedom. For example, if we set the target price again based on market response as let's say 65,000. If 65,000 is what an Activa sells at on road, I think we would have lost most of the features. In fact, I'm pretty sure we would have built nothing more than what current vehicles are. A top speed of 40, charging time of 8 hours, obviously no dashboard, no smartness, there would be no carbon fiber tagging belts, there would be no very cool transmission system, so it would just be a motor bought from China, put on the beam. So all that sort of happened because they set the target right up. We did not do that. We had some vague ideas. For example, we don't really want to price ideally motor level. That's where we started off from. And then we gave the team like 6 months to figure out how to get costs down on a bunch of things. So now we're doing less than that. But no, we did not start from this is the price because we're building a different product. And in my opinion, we're building a new category, smart vehicles. So why do you want to start from a fixed price and a new category? It's super limiting. So that's where we're going to start. The reason that electric scooters have worked is not because of price. In fact, the pitch of current electric scooters is that hey, you can't buy an entry-level petrol moped, the Lunas out there, which are priced like 35, 36. So please buy us. We are like 30,000. And you can't afford petrol to run those folks. So please buy us because we are like so much cheaper to run because they did. So I think cost is an issue. The biggest problem is there's not a good match between what companies think they are selling to and who the actual customers are. So that's what we also notice. Companies thought they were saying that this segment, which is the lowest, and this is the but the people who were buying this had a Honda City Power in the garage. So obviously, they were looking at things, there was a learning about. And when they bought that, there was a huge mismatch in expectations. So the performance wasn't good, the body wasn't good, and things were falling apart. That's what. So first things, we are not married to it. For example, unlike Tesla, we don't say, we've also stopped actually saying they're electric vehicles startup. We're saying we are a vehicles startup, or just smart vehicles. So we think electric makes a lot of sense today. Who knows, 10 years later, hydrogen might make sense. I mean, nuclear might make sense for somebody who knows 20 years later. We don't care about it, we are very happy to shift. I'll explain more. So, we're doing a total cost approach. So, today we are at the point where if you look, let's say 3-4 years of usage of the vehicle, the upfront cost plus the running cost of an electric vehicle is going to be lesser than a petrol scooter. So, we've already reached that inflection point. The problem is the upfront cost is not good. And that's the reason it's not a major mass market product yet. And that's the reason bigger companies are getting it. Now, our bet is, and that's our understanding, that even that price point will probably reach in the next 3 years. So, if that happens, you basically get a product, you basically get a product which can do all the petrol vehicle plus. It's far more quieter, far more lighter, it's far more balanced, and is very cheap to run, has very little maintenance trouble. Is priced exactly your petrol vehicle price, acquisition price, and it's 8 to 10 times cheaper to run. So, I think in that point, market will suddenly flip because it will make literally 0 cents apart from you saying you pay for Honda vehicle. It may make sense for you to go and buy a petrol scooter still or petrol vehicle still. So, we are just basically betting, looking at that and betting for that future. So, that's what we're doing electric today. But as I said, we're not lying to it. So, TVS has a division, TVS is a division which is building electric vehicles. I think it could have 20, 30, 40 people already, probably more, since 2007. Honda has, I'm sure, electric vehicle division since like decades probably. I'm not electric for 5 decades, just on battery applications. KTM, Bajaj had a partnership with electric vehicle. Here has a partnership with it. And for years, but it's not like they have jumped out of this like yesterday. But do you see any vehicles out there? Do you see any plans? Do you see any reports of them talking that they will launch something? So it's very simple. It's not like this is an ungettable piece of technology or an IP that only we control and hence we build it. Honestly, we had that, we would just go and set up for $100 to the biggest builder out there. That just makes so much sense. The difference here is that those days, I completely agree with them. But then the market does not make sense. Even if they would build this, let's say plonk down $20, $30, $40 million on this, they have to sell us every day. So probably they're spending $15 or $100 million on this. Because they have to work at that scale. So Hero will probably produce 5,000 vehicles daily. Okay. And today the estimated market size for this is 10,000 vehicles nationally over 1 year. So if they were to get into it, they will basically have massive idle capacity and they will basically just hurt their own brand. You know, they can't afford that, right? Plus there's a huge technology in this. But just like you asked me, I completely agree with you. Electric might make sense today, lithium might make sense today, the lithium might not make sense 4 years later. And the way those companies work, they probably take 4 years to reach that stage and launch, and then somebody else in the market comes and says, you're not use it in time. Yeah. They can't take such a dynamic technological risk. It does not make sense for them at their scales, and they can't enter a market which is small. But that's the perfect point for a startup to enter into. Because if we can sell 10,000, I think we make huge.
And your
big.
business case makes sense at that.
So for us, it makes sense. We are going to be, for example, setting up an automated assembly. We are trying to produce a set of plant which can do 100,000 vehicles in a year. We are actually taking cottage industry approach. We are going to do a space like this and building vehicles here. Just 2-3 jets, that's it. 10-20 people are sending 2-3, 5-10 vehicles daily, probably a little bit more. So a very manual, super non-scalable approach on day one. Purely because we just want to demonstrate there's a need for this, and we just want to build a brand at this point. They already have a brand. They get nothing out of doing this stage. We get a lot of doing this stage. Now, secondly, why build this and not another scooter or not build a more efficient engine? I think they're not the most suited for that. Do it, not do it. Somebody set up a division with 100 people in it to just design in-house engines in India. They spent, I think, 2-3 years and they still don't have it. Because designing it is freaking hard. People have spent 100 years improving it and really drilling it down its finer details. If two of us say, no, we'll design better engine, we'll be stupid. Somebody should take knockers on our heads. We can't design better engines in such a small team in such a short time. It's impossible. As a startup, I think one should focus its resources on things that will have a disproportionate impact. So new technology, for example, building battery packs in India is still very novel. So if you figure out that process, even 5 people can figure out how to put packs together, or another 10 people can figure out how to put the frame together for that pack. Instead of needing 200 people to do it. So for us, and the amount of value and impact that we create with such a small team is huge. 10 years later, it won't be like this. 10 years later, there will be enough players on it, and then to build a battery pack of the level of expectations that people will have in the market back then would not be a task for 2 people or 5 people. You need a team of 50 people up front, and then 50 people would be this mainstream thing. That's what happens in any industry. So, but at this point, we know we can have disproportionate impact by working on something like this. That's the reason we are betting very consciously on stuff that others are not willing to do, on stuff that is still novel. Can we use, for example, a smartphone? Can we have like heads-up display? Can we have a touchscreen which will work in the new editions? Can we have a battery pack which is? Can we have a charger specifically, which is 3 times lighter than 3 times lighter and 6 times cheaper than anything that exists in the market? Why? Because it's not like we have upgraded technology. Others are already working on it. So if we grab this, we get a lot of value. We unlock a lot of value. That's the reason we constantly develop this sort of stuff. So you guys notice we are called Ather Energy. We are not called Ather Motors. We are not called Ather Electric. Right? So I don't know if that really answers you, but that's something very deep. That's something I don't think I can immediately pull off. So we in China have been calling ourselves Ather Energy since way back our second year in IIT. So we used to call ourselves AEDHE, Ather. We used to fancy ourselves as this energy company that we're going to. So the point is, we're working on Sterling engines, and okay. So there are certain things which are very standard, which don't change in any industry. That's the reason we're not in electric company, because we believe that electric will cease to make sense 10 years later. That's not a fundamental truth. But one of the very fundamental things is that you will always need energy. You'll always need energy to run your vehicles. One point was about because we had was then it became petrol, coal, then petrol, and then today it's electric, someday it will be something else. But if you are in the business of producing, storing, and distributing that energy, I think we're on pretty firm ground. So that's what we always wanted to be in. And that's the reason why instinctively we immediately went to batteries first. And that's the reason why we do the chargers and the smart grid and all those things in-house. Because long term we see that as our vision. We really want to be in the energy business. We want to be doing a lot of stuff with it. In the short term, and short term is basically 5 to 10 years. In the short to medium term, we basically are waking up. We are going to be focusing on futuristic technology in the vehicles. Now, that's a very relative thing. What we consider as futuristic today may not be futuristic if you were to go look at a concept vehicle in Detroit today. Right? But that might be super futuristic for 2-wheelers in India right now. But some things are very interesting. So some of the very deep technology that are going in are very interesting. So as a company, we'll always focus on those sort of stuff first. And fundamentally, we are going to be product design. We are a product company, we are product engineers, product designers, and that's how our approach towards any work is going to be. So for the first one, we're building a scooter because it just makes a lot of sense to start with the scooter segment. The pricing wise, performance wise, time wise. But then going forward, you'll see us doing a lot more beyond scooters. You'll see us doing a lot of stuff on charging infrastructure. You will see us doing a lot of stuff with intelligent vehicles. So I don't know if that sufficiently answers your question, but whatever I have, that's what I just put it.